having served in the armed forces for 30 years and handed over my life to the comrade in arms, having survived that and switched, has given me some very keen insights. There's a wonderful dialectic which goes on, trust and the camaraderie of the armed forces and the extreme cunning and the which I see in the corporate world. There is a dichotomy there. To be carefully observed is the forces have a very well-nurtured collective psyche in the ecosystem. Whereas the business world is driven by greed, rightly so, but this greed tends to be driven by fear of insecurity and instability in the society. That is, it sets a vicious cycle. So let me narrate to you two live battle incidents. Please don't get carried over by them. Try and understand and feel how the collective psyche of armed forces becomes the bedrock of such incidents. Siachen Glacier, the highest and the coldest battlefield on Earth. 70 kilometers of glaciated terrain, very fiercely held by the Indian Army troops for last almost 3 decades. The peaks go from 14,000 to 21,000 feet above sea level. The temperatures in peak winters touch minus 70 degrees centigrade. These posts are maintained by parachutes dropping all the logistic loads in the glacier. The Air Force does that, flies in every morning from Chandigarh, drops the loads in the glacier. Thereafter, they are pulled by the troops, by the snow scooters which you can see in the bottommost image, onto the posts. They go in buddy pairs and pull the loads onto the posts, and that is how the survival goes on. In 1992, peak winter time, after a drop like this happened, there was a snow blizzard, which is a common phenomenon in the winter, when the winter set in. And the snow blizzards typically start in the afternoon, say about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And the drop had taken place. The buddies, the troops were out from the post with the snow scooters to get the loads back to the post. And they got caught in the snow blizzard. When I say blizzard, the wind speeds, nothingness, rarefied atmospheres, pick up to 70 kilometers an hour, and it's an absolute white blanket of snow, and it doesn't seem to stop. In one of those, a buddy pair got separated from each other, while some of the lucky boys, they make it back to the post. One guy was missing with the snow scooter. He was a Maratha like you, many of you here. Naik Mane was his name. So it kept on snowing through the night, starting in the afternoon today, through the night, till wee hours of next morning. Presumably, such guys, it is presumed that the worst would have happened. However, true to the collective psyche of the armed forces, early morning, next day, when the weather opened up, we flew in from the base camp. Army would never leave its martyrs, dead or alive. They will have to be recovered. So we flew into the glacier just to try to see if there are any traces of anything. Absolute white snow. 2 helicopters, we always fly in pairs there. The front helicopter, he observed this perfect circle in the snow. a groove, a perfect circle in the snow. He radioed. I was in the second helicopter. He went down to see what it is. And he just radioed that he can see a movement there. The helipad was stamped out by the infantry guys, and the helicopters landed. Mane had crawled on inches because his training knew if he stops, his blood will freeze. If he keeps moving, he may survive. He was picked up, lost his toes, frostbite, all those things happened there. I remember again in the hospital in Chandigarh. I asked him one thing. One sentence he said, "Saab, हम 4 मराठा का है, पलटन आएगा." ये हमारे मन में आया था. This is the collective psyche of armed forces. He could have well been left there. There was no reason for us to, get into that kind of a melee. But this is what differentiates the forces from the civil world. Let me get you to the. For whatever be the geopolitical reasons, we'll not go into that. Indian Army, as a peacekeeping, fierce operations in jungle warfare against LTTE, one of the fiercest guerrilla warfare organizations of the century. This was the kind of terrain we were operating in. There were jungles, and with impunity they used to blow up tracks and blow up, and army suffered huge amount of losses there. Again, helicopters. On 7th June 89, we took off from our base. I was flying armed helicopters at that time. We took off for a training sortie with 2 machine gunners on board. They had just joined us, the machine gunners. We always used to take short height Gurkhas who could almost stand. We were going routine training for them. A water body to make them fire. We were flying along the Jaffna-Colombo highway at 2,000 feet, good comfortable height. Saw a body of our vehicles, our own Indian Army vehicles, in a disarray on the highway. Surely something had gone amiss and we were not aware. The collective psyche again, we had to look at it. We came down a little and we could make out there's a firefight going on. And LTT, they were masters in springing some fantastic with a sim. So when we came down, 7 were lying dead. Who was the CEO? He himself was manning the machine gun. He had lost his boys. He said, "I will not live with the ignominy of having lost a weapon in battle." So he was so possessive about it. We came down, someone was back at the helicopter. I was on the right side, I was looking outside, not sure how my gunner will fire, first time. We told him to fire. We spotted some LTT guys. As he opened the machine gun, they got up, and when they got up, there were not 6 or 7, there were about 15 of them. We flew to the treetop level, this auditorium height very high also, and both machine guns. I was looking to the right, Giri gunner was behind me, and one burst came and hit me on the right side. It took my upper teeth, it took my jaws, and they fell in my feet. My brave co-pilot made the Daman. Giri shouted, "Saab ke lora." Daman turned the helicopter to the left. one burst came and took his right hand. Sporadic fire, they used to keep firing. Down lost his right hand, the control stick broke. I was knocked on the right. We kept firing. We shot about 6 guys on way back to our base. God was, he used one hand, I used one hand. He had half a stick, I had the full stick. Again, that absolute, unwritten, unquestioned trust in each other. People who know about helicopters, it's not a helicopter you can fly with one hand, you can't land with one hand. You have to use 2 hands. Here was the case. Half controls, half hand. We landed the runway, makeshift base, we flew for 16 minutes and we got shot. And I was traveling out. The brave doctor, he told me, I'm going to hold you from your shoulders. They held me from the shoulders and they cut over my throat to make me breathe because I was choking. He pumped out the blood and Air Force sister organization, the Brigade, it was getting into the night. They landed the transport aircraft but there was no runway. The clearing was lit up with the army vehicles and I was evacuated from there along with other brave buddies and I came back to Pune. So I was in the hospital again for almost about 9 months. It took me another 6 months after that to get back to flying. This is the forces psyche, it is not a personal bravery. The faith, the organization support which is missing in the what happened in civil. The polity is getting polluted because of extreme amount of inequality of wealth and opportunity in the society. 13 of the states today are affected by extreme nationalism. The urban India, Bombay, Pune, Delhi, they are oblivious to Bangalore. 40% of the geographical area is impacted by natural. Extreme amount of insecurity, extreme amount of deprivation. And this is happening because 75% of the wealth is in the hand of 10% families, national wealth. There is a helplessness which is leading to this insecurity. Unfettered inheritance of wealth. Misgovernance, purposeful endeavor corruption. A lot of the world, a well-governed world, lives with the nationalized inheritance laws. India, like others, India, China, Pakistan, Russia, all unfettered inheritance laws. America also became victim to this. Good countries like Brazil, Egypt, whenever they switched off unfettered inheritance, they've gone down the drain. So someone has to look at it. This is and what it leads to is how the armed forces get into it. There is so much of insecurity in the society. You have the armed forces getting sucked into internal disturbances. Keeping them away from, taking them away, focusing them away from the primary goal of external aggression. So there is an absolute and a very important requirement for everyone, all young Indians, all of us, to look back at why this is happening and how do you step this rock. There's a very beautiful paper written by a friend of mine on unfettered inheritance called The Root of the Rock. See it on the website, see it on the net. 90% Indian population is also 25% wealth. So where will the opportunities are not there. The intellect is there. The accumulation of wealth is not the right thing for 7 generations. The wealth is not getting created. You have to create wealth. You are killing the creativity. So, is there a hope? If something can happen? Can we adopt the limited collective psyche of faith, trust and equality which is prevalent in the armed forces at the national level? To an extent, can India excogitate and arise to this new dawn so that we can call ourselves a truly independent nation. And I hope and I pray to God it happens. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind.